We'll just make it easier for me to fuck it up as soon as we go live.
Hello, and welcome to Jarviskjir Everhold. The show that is perfectly keeping in traditions right now, I guess. Hey, hello. The whole gang's here. And your actual human son. Okay. I had like an intro planned, and then I went to the bathroom, and it dissipated away. So
I peed out. I'm sorry.
I peed it out. No, it's true. That's how I lose most of my good ideas.
Need to write them down first.
There's
There's a joke there, but
There's a joke there.
there's a joke there.
It's just helpful advice, all right?
Well, my helpful advice is hello, everyone. I don't know why that's what my... You know, this happens with me a lot where my brain's like, here's what you're going to say. And I'm like, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that anyway.
You can't tell me what to do.
You can't stop me.
You're not the boss of me.
Yourself, not even yourself.
I'm excited to be playing this game. We've got a lot done. To recap what's sort of happened so far. You were all at the Everhold meet celebrating peace. And then it got attacked with an assassination attempt. You lot are almost a perfect homogeneous mix of dwarves and elves. Sort of. And
The two superior races.
no humans. Get out of here with your token human news campaign. Yeah. But after saving the Dwarf Lord Copperbeard, who is an important and nice figure that we like, you were tasked with going through the mountain to the dwarven fort of Jemtuda to find out what happened, because now that attacks have come from the deep, Copperbeard is suspicious because they haven't heard from Jemtuda for a while, and well, if they've been attacked, it makes it so Jemtuda may have been attacked as well. You've been sent to investigate using a illegal and abandoned dwarven tunnel. You got to go on a minecart ride, do some exploration, avoid the people who own the tunnel. All good things. Jump the trench. Yeah, you did jump like a 20-foot trench, which was pretty cool. Yeah. And yeah, that's where we start off with you lot walking your way through the tunnels. And by tunnels, I do mean tunnel. It is just a straight line. It is just like they chose a direction and they just dug. Or there's very little variance. If there is variance, it's because of natural, like, cavern pocketing, or just maybe the overseer controlling this part of the tunnel accidentally, you know, mixed up their sextant or something, which happens to all of us. But for the most part, it is just a straight line that goes through the mountain. You've got a long way on the minecart, but you had to abandon that, and now you're going on foot. How would you travel? What's your kind of like traveling order? Would you have a torch or anything? Mostly so far you've been going by the guidance of those with good dark vision.
Donovan does not like how underground this is.
Dirt is first.
Before
Logically,
it was like
dirt is first.
a reasonable level of underground. This is just nonsensical level of underground.
He's perceptive. He's the tank. He is the only choice for first. I think.
I think the most logical order is to have Dern in the front, Stedian in the back, and wherever you two want to be. I guess probably Donaruvian
Take
wants
the
to be
two
closer
L's.
to
I
the
like
front.
it.
Yeah, and then Donaruvian probably second.
The back is the it always reminds me of the red dwarf bit where being in the front and the back is the most dangerous, the safest place is the middle.
It's Scooby-Doo as well.
Yeah.
I think Vilnora would probably go second because she has 120 dark vision. So she can look over the dwarf and be like, oh, hey.
Just don't tell him you're doing it.
Yeah.
Making it real obvious. She's like hands on your shoulders, like, huh.
Yeah.
Awesome. For your long journey, you don't really see much most of the time. You've already spent a couple of days with both minecart and foot travel. It's one of those things that maybe one of the reasons, especially why Donna would be so upset by it, is there's just no features. There's nothing to see how long you've been here for, other than the amount of food you've eaten, which is never a good way to tell time. There's no artistry, because even the dwarven, like, beams here are just stone or timber, right? It's just a long... It could be endless. You don't know. After a long time, it's kind of hard to tell. You know, you do rest several times along a long journey. You get to a point where you can start to see light on the other side. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's it. Campaign's over. You died in there. Suffocated.
Just to clarify, you said we rest several times. So that counts as long rest, does it?
Yeah, you should have been long rested from last session anyway.
Yeah, I just asked because of the level up.
Oh yes.
With resting and stuff as well, Vilnora has a pink pink powder that is magical, and eventually the curiosity is going to get to her.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. A good point.
I need to know what it does.
So you
A little bum.
do you tell the rest of the party that you're dosing up?
Yes.
Okay.
I just let them know it's like, hey, I need to know what this does. So I'm just gonna have a little bit just to see if it's harmful or good.
That's safe.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
science.
Safety.
Good.
Maybe the dwarf should try it. I mean, maybe Denikin should try it.
Anything?
Just in case it's poison.
Yes.
Denikin, did you want to try it?
Yeah.
I got this
sure,
off a
why
drow
not?
body.
Okay, you take it and
Don't eat it all.
This
I might want some.
is perfectly in character because it is a one-person dose, and even though you're going, oh, just have a little bit, you know, Dern could just the whole thing.
No, just a little, like a couple of things on your tongue.
Just
No.
inhale the whole thing.
Disgusting Japanese paracetamol sachet where it's all powder.
Oh yeah. No, if you've ever had to inhale powder, it is gross. And he didn't have to do that, but I think that would be the way Dern would do it.
No, we'll try and stop him. I want some.
And there would be probably some hacking and some phlegm. And then you get
cinnamon challenge situation.
You get cinnamon challenge, but this cinnamon challenge lets you see colors. But actually, what you see, Dern, like clearly it affects your vision. But you actually don't see much because there's not much going on. The only thing that really changes is that Vilnora is almost swallowed by this black silhouette. Like when you look at Vilnora, you just see dark. Doesn't really affect how anyone else... Actually, Sidian would also look a little strange, but not as strange as Vilnora does. But Sidian would look almost...
The elven soulmate glow.
No, you just look the same. But Sidian would have a different sort of... It's almost like you can see something running through his blood that would be a kind of orangish, earthy tone.
Yeah, so Durham would sort of squint around and be like, all it's done is made you look shadowy and dark, and he looks like he's got something weird in his blood, but don't know what's up with that either.
Do you
What
have
about
blood?
Donorivian? Does she look different?
Nah, same as ever.
But I look what again?
It's like you're covered by a big old shadow, best way I can describe it.
Oh. Okay, cool. Did you eat
You're
all of
just
it?
going to take that in stride, are you?
I mean, it's the damn truth, she should.
Me?
Both of y'all.
And
Yes.
I make some type of check to determine if I have any idea what this is.
It would be
I know
Arcana.
exactly what this is.
I know
I'm
what it is
sure
out
you
of character.
know- yeah, out of character, you'd probably know what
This is all part of our fucking drug cartel scheme in the other
Exactly.
campaign.
our.
It's beginning.
Yeah, Arcana, if you want to decipher what that effect actually translates to.
What a neutral issue.
So did Dernican eat all of it?
Yeah, there's really not any that's left on the powder. Kind of falls off the little paper package. Kind of falls to the ground by the time he hands it back, and then it mixes with the ground soil. And
That's the last time I share.
Well, I mean, it's not my fault there's so damn little of it.
No, not your
Dusts
fault.
off his beard.
Just jealous.
So we're just going to brush off this experience and pretend that it never happened.
Well, I mean, it's still happening. So maybe when we get out, I'll see something else.
Repress.
by the time you can't really work much of it. You two, clearly magical drug that does something. Clearly, whatever it does is not relevant to this cave.
It is pointing out magic, though, logically. It's like,
Well, yeah, you
I
can
was
tell
a
that
dark
you two
silhouette.
are spellcasters. Yeah, you just can't work out the
Yeah.
specifics, how long it works, and stuff like that. You as a character
Okay.
can definitely assume that.
yeah.
Maybe Obsidian less so because he's not as arcanally inclined. He just is. But by the
I'm
time
just like a void. I'm just like a shadow walking next to Dernican.
a big inky splotch. But by the time you're like done resting, this effect wears off, and Dernican just feels mildly hungover, and you continue traveling.
So, pretty normal then.
Pretty normal. Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't really affect
Is that
you at all.
baseline?
Yeah, that's baseline.
Guys, did I give out the antitoxins that I found? Oh, that we made?
I don't think so.
More
Oh.
drugs, are they?
I should do that. Just like while I have them. But Dernican's not getting any. So
You can keep it, lad. I'm pretty good with poison anyway. It's in the blood, you know.
So I hand out an antitoxin to City and Donorivian.
Points worth of good.
Yeah. Antitoxin for Donna.
Cool. Let us hope we do not need to use these things.
There's poison-covered weapons, I'm pretty sure, where we're going, so...
Let us hope we do not get stabbed by poison-covered weapons, is all I need to say.
The
like
the
it.
thing to remember about these is that you drink them before the poison, not after. Despite what logic may dictate. It's magic. I ain't got to explain shit. You keep traveling for a long... there is a long history of drug trips in Jarviskjir, and this was one of the mildest of them all.
It just came to mind.
Wish it was me. Dang it.
You would know that you actually have to melt it down or something.
Oh,
Need a
no.
hot spoon.
It's just like her first venture out from home, and she
Immediately does
she's doing-
drugs.
doing everything Mum told me not to. Yes, I'm free.
It's like, do not have sex, you will get pregnant and
I
die.
Well, that's a different long rest story.
There's a cantrip for that.
There is.
Lover's embrace.
Yeah.
Now we have to figure out how to make it canon.
Well, we'll worry about that later. Your journey through the dark lasts a long time, but eventually, like I said, you do start to see the light. It's a long ways away because this is just a straight line of a tunnel. You know, you can see the exit a long ways before you get to it. You know, but as you're getting closer to it, and you can start to see the area around the edge of the exit, which, unlike the entrance in the other side of the Crimson Mountain, this just seems to come out on the other side of the mountain, like no fanfare, not inside Gemtida. You can see already the edge, how it's been worn away by time, even though this tunnel is only meant to be 5 years old or so. It's already been worn by the ice melt and things on the other side. And you can see snow flurries kind of coming in, and you can feel the chill air coming out through the tunnel. But more distracting than that, before you even get to the proper exit, there is a large creature. This creature, at first, well, it's hard to say what you would notice first. There is something humanoid about it, a humanoid upper body, but it's not a Drider. The lower half is like that of a massive grub or leech or something. As this creature moves, you can see the grub-like worm body squish and move and squish and move. It is definitely the kind of thing you want to touch because it's gross. It's glossy and I think it would just be a kind of like pale, almost translucent tone, especially considering the dark vision. Or you can only see in the gloom with the light behind it. As the grub-like body section moves, this slime that coats it drips and moves, and there's areas where the slime has dried into like a kind of powdery paste, and it's just gross. In fact, there's a very unpleasant smell wafting from this creature before you get close to it. The humanoid upper half is relatively slender compared to the very bulbous grub-like upper half. And it carries kind of a stick in one hand. When you get closer, it actually appears to be a pike, but it's using it like a walking stick. And on the other arm, it's dragging something. It looks like it's dragging something on like a tarp. When it notices you, it does cover whatever it's dragging with the tarp. Its face at first kind of looks cherubish, but when you get closer, you can tell it's like a mask. But the mask is almost like perfectly formed to like the fat of the face, right?
This guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, this is an uncomfortable being that stops when you get close, as if letting you pass. And actually, despite being like large size, it's like the size of a centaur or something. Vilnor has probably and Donna have probably seen centaurs before, but it kind of takes a submissive stance and kind of pushes itself to the side of the wall, as if it doesn't want any trouble. But it's still letting off just an offensive odor.
And therefore should die.
And therefore should be destroyed.
You must die.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how to deal with this
Looks
thing.
like he's letting us pass. Isn't that
Welcome.
great?
What under the Shield Father's
You must
mountain is
die.
this ugly bastard?
I really hope that isn't the dwarf in that tarp. I just want to make sure it's not the dwarf.
If you want to give me a perception check to see what's in the tarp, because it's kind of covering it with its body.
Boom.
Well,
That is definitely a body under the tarp. You, Vilnora, can tell it's a body. Donna, it's definitely a dwarven body. The girth, it's the easiest way to describe it, could only be a dwarven body. One that appears to have been already dead, actually. It looks like it's been dead for a little while. Part of the smell might be that body, actually. It doesn't seem like this creature killed it. It might be that this creature is going to eat it and is dragging it away to somewhere where it would be safer to eat. You've actually seen this kind of thing with scavenger carrion creatures before. Divine sense.
I want to know if he is a fiend or an undead. Or a celestial, I guess. But
It is not. It does not trigger your
Cool.
divine
It
sense.
doesn't trigger you.
Then I'm
No.
fine.
I like him.
I wouldn't go that far.
But he's polite, and you know what? That goes a long way nowadays.
He looks like he won't hurt us, so maybe we
Therefore,
should just.
friend.
Well, I
Friend.
don't know about friend, but I'm quite happy just to go straight past.
Donna Rubin will go past with it. Greetings.
It
Does
Nope,
it perk
day
up?
after I haven't showered for a month.
it kind of does like a subservient like nodding gesture, but doesn't reply.
I love him.
Vilnora will go past and like do a couple of greetings in some languages, see if anything pings, and then head off.
It reacts maybe not surprisingly to Undercommon of all languages. If you do wish to continue talking with it, but I imagine at this point most of the party is kind of starting to move on. May want to be away from the very unpleasant smell. Like when you're close enough to speak with it, actually to go past it, it is enough to make you reflexively like almost retch. Right.
Yeah. So I think Vilnora, if everyone's going past, will just quickly go like, "Have you seen any drow go by?" In my undercommon.
Yeah, and it replies in Undercommon, very eloquently, in Undercommon. Oh,
Join our party.
not drow, no. Gnomes, dwarves. Even I crawled up from the deep. Many things are.
Oh, I'm feeling unsafe. That way? From that way?
It's that image of Ralph on the bus. Uh-oh, I'm in danger.
In danger. Yeah, when you point to the exit and go that way, it nods somewhat enthusiastically, maybe for the conversation. What might be something you notice when it speaks, like the area that the mouth moves under the mask is very big. And the mask doesn't quite hide whatever massive jaws are under it. It's like, yes, out and to the west. There are small cracks and crevices a beast can squeeze.
Is there anything dangerous going that way? Or did you see anyone else come along?
I avoid the danger. I hunt its aftermath.
What's your name?
Fuck. The last thing I expected you was to ask the grub man their name. One sec.
It'd just be rude.
Rubman.
It would be
Grubman.
rude not to ask his name. Like, I am
Running it
Sarta. I am Sarta. Do you have trade?
Trade? Not really. I don't have a lot on me at the moment. What? Do you
Your
have
warriors. Your friends are armed and armored. If you're going to that wretched keep on source of betrayal, I would happily take any of the damned and dead from your hands after your retribution. After all, you won't be
Recycle.
needing it anymore.
That's horrifying.
So you don't have anything to trade? You're just afterwards? We grab stuff?
It does, like, show you a pouch which has some coins and things in it, and some, like, small trinkets of, like, carved stone and metal. Like, the mask is metal as well, and it has a couple more of them. So it does have, like, some things, but probably not anything you're interested in.
Yeah. What do you want for it? Stuff.
The stuff in his bag.
Yeah. Like, just, I don't know, a trinket, one of those rocks or something. Like,
Oh.
do you want food or...
I find your food disagreeable, but coin is always appreciated. Silver coin.
Yeah. I'll give him like 2 silver or like a rock or something.
Yeah, it'll hand you like a carved rock that would resemble like one of these creatures, but in like a standing position, right? Almost like it would like a spinning top. It's very strange little stone carving thing. Not amazing artistry either. But
Did you
definitely
make this?
curious. Oh, yes.
Oh, it's very good.
Can make more if you find them agreeable.
Well, if we meet again, maybe I'll buy something else. If I die, please don't eat me.
Lenora?
What was that, Donna?
Good conversation, Vilnora?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sata. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Did you take something from that creature?
It has a name.
We don't know that.
Well, no, she just said thank you,
speak
Sata.
Undercommon.
No, I don't. But she just said thank
In
you, Sata.
Undercommon.
You can kind of. Well, could you tell like a name? I suppose.
What's in the name?
Maybe.
Yeah. I kind of feel
Sometimes
like,
you can, right? Sometimes
yeah, I
you
kind
can.
of feel like Dern has good wisdom. He's insightful despite his
Okay,
appearance, so
sure.
he might
Yeah.
be able to work that.
Yeah, that would be it. It literally would have been an insight roll to do that kind of
Yeah.
word logic. So
Yeah. So I turn to the rest and go like, yeah, that was Sata. It says things have been crawling up through the dark, that way and then to the west.
I'm sorry.
And he made this.
Have been
Does it?
pulling up from the dark.
Well, that bloody well answers half the questions we came here for.
We have a dozen more
He
quests.
didn't see any drow. He didn't see any drow come past.
But who knows what that creature was? And its kith and kin are apparently fluffing
I think it was.
from.
I think it's really hard to, like, really rude to ask people what they are, even if I'm curious. And then she makes a pointed look at Sidian, like, and then
That's such a D&D thing.
it is.
There are much worse things that crawl through the earth than your new friend over there.
No, he was very nice
No doubt.
and very creative. I used prestidigitation to clean it and make it smell.
Oh yeah, there is a layer of grime that needs to just slough off of it. Remove some maggot eggs and stuff as well. But yeah, very sensible idea to clean something you receive from Grubman.
Yes.
No drow then. Hopefully that means we're not killing anything intelligent. Much harder to
Or
find.
at least that he saw. So he's probably been through here recently, so. Anyways, we can go.
Within a few moments, you're at the mouth of the tunnel, looking out onto a winter Well, actually, not a winter. It is summer, but it is still a snowy plains and highlands. In some areas, actually, in anywhere where shadow isn't being cast by the mountains, there are tundral grasses and ferns and plant life and stuff, and wildflowers. But it's a desolate and unfriendly place to Heartlanders, right? It's not as cold as it could be due to it being summertime. But even so, there's something... Some of you might find some beauty in it, especially after being in a cave for a while. But you don't see much in the way of wildlife. But basically, after walking out a little bit and getting the Fallout Bloom effect, and it goes Everhold, part 2. Technically part 3, but you know. You do see a settlement to the west. Not very far away at all. It is clearly dwarven. You can see, quite like the Crimson Mountain, it's built into the side of the mountain. But much smaller. And you can see quite literally like a high street and then just fortress that's kind of like dug into the mountain and defended. It's currently nighttime, but there's a full moon, so you can see very well. You can see very well indeed the scene around, and it will be quite safe to traverse, even though this is slightly treacherous terrain, but not too bad. What's your thoughts, team?
Well, we're either marching there right now, or we wait a night and go in fresh in case there's more of his ilk in there, or worse.
Oh, is everyone really tired?
I don't get tired.
Seemed pretty damn tired after that fight against the Spider-Woman. Yeah, I know. I can keep going. It's just a matter of if we're gonna get stuck in there.
If there is anything awaiting us, will it be asleep during the nighttime or the daytime?
I mean, it probably doesn't understand night or day. It probably comes from below ground, right? No, sun down there.
When would be most opportunistic to strike?
Would I know that, Ollie?
Yeah, straight up,
ground?
like just under realm culture doesn't really have night or day. People operate on cycles, and usually you plan out so that someone is always awake if you're traveling or something, right?
Yeah, I'll let him know that if it is underdark people, then there's probably always going to be someone awake on guard. So it doesn't really matter what time, I guess.
How do you know that?
Oh, I've heard stories.
Right.
As have I. I haven't heard very detailed stories, though. Just fairy tales.
Yeah. I got a lot of fairy tales and stories from my parents. I was lonely. They read lots of things.
Indeed.
Right. Let's leave it at that for now.
I hope Danica said that out loud. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like while walking past you, like no chill.
Yeah,
He's an
mine
old
is
man.
free charisma. Of course he said that out loud. Yeah, in that case, I think it's probably best to go in when we're best. So we stay out the night and go in the morning.
Oh, there's also a time limit? Like, I don't know. Just, it looks like Copperbeard wanted us to go as quickly as possible.
So, yeah, but if we go in there and get ourselves killed, he ain't getting his information one way or another, is he?
I don't.
You know what? That's true. I like that.
I mean, I don't really answer to him either, but if this is like first first wave of an invasion or something, then it's kind of more important than one lord.
Hmm.
Feels
So,
rather hope it-
We need a cozy place to sleep then.
Yeah, that's most important right now.
This is a survivor roll to find a safe place to sleep in this area. Or, of course, you can just say fuck it and sleep in the mouth of the cavern.
Survival.
Oh, he's going.
I've got a +5.
I have a -2, so I'm not even gonna roll.
It's a roll.
I rolled anyway.
It could be worse.
I haven't seen your roll, Ian.
Oh, it's a 13.
Oh,
I can
Oh,
just
sorry.
for the
Sorry, it's showing up as Donnarumma because
Oh.
that is Dernikin's role. My apologies. It's changed back now.
Intermingling. You do find a little area. This is like untouched rocks and highlands and things. So you find a little area where you can set up sleeping bags and things and rest while being sort of shrouded by the elements. Whether you're hidden or not is a little harder to tell. Now, because you are actually sleeping out in potentially dangerous lands, I am going to need to know your sleeping order.
Oh, first, Dern is definitely going to be like, "Hey, Elf, if you don't get tired, why don't you watch the night?"
If an elf meditates kind of when they sleep, are they aware?
So, yeah, you are aware, but it's not as good as keeping watch. So, like, if someone charged into the camp to attack you, you would essentially instantly wake up, but you couldn't, like, keep a watch on the scene the same way. So, you would ideally want to maybe keep watch for 4 hours and then give it to someone else.
I mean,
To
Dern was
meditate.
just DMing you.
Yes. Yeah, it depends on the elf, because in Jarviskjir it's not... In Faerun and stuff, the trance is more explicit, but in Jarviskjir it's like, oh, we don't sleep, but like, you're basically sleeping. You know, you relive your past memories as dreams and things like that. Some elves, and being a warrior, you might be more alert than others, but even then, it's like a shroud, you know? It's like seeing everything through a fog. But if a monsterman was to come up and try to eat you all, you'd be like, aha. Yawn. Stab.
Would I be okay the night through then, and everyone else can rest if I'm?
You would suffer a point of exhaustion from not meditating.
I mean, you can just meditate for 4 hours, watch for 4 hours, and then we can split up the other 4 hours between people who only need to sleep for 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dern will just volunteer to take one, like, a middle.
Yeah.
rest, as I should be.
I can take watch as well.
So you're staying up first. Okay, so then everyone else takes little watches after Donna takes most. So, as everyone gets to bed, and you somehow Dernikin's snoring is louder now that you're outside. Maybe it's the cold. Donna, can you give me a perception check, please?
Yep.
Well, we're screwed.
You love to see it.
Masses, waves of enemies come down upon our heads.
There's an avalanche. We're buried. End of campaign.
You are keeping your watch, and you're not used to doing such a thing with mortals who sleep. But you're keeping your watch, maybe even doing a pace around a nearby area. And you see something higher in the mountain, because mostly you're watching downwards, because you're watching the settlement. But in just kind of a check around, you see just a silhouette. And you are sure that it is a giant, a frost giant, a massive one. And if you see it, it must see you. You stand out against the horizon in the snow. You got to move the entire camp. You got to wake everyone up and get out of here instantly.
Holy mother of God!
Ah!
Get him!
Fuck you doing, Elf?
Look at that!
For what?
It looks like a giant. It looks like a giant up in the mountain.
What? Yeah, okay, I see. You two, get
The
up!
first thing I'm going to do when we get up is basically just get up to like a knee and then look at all of you guys and just say, remain still. And I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace on all of us, which is using my Ganassi racial ability. So thematically, everyone just starts to look like a rock. Because it is
Like
literally
Frodo's cloak.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's called Meld with Stone is
Yeah.
what allows me to cast this. And just tell everyone not to move and try to hide and look like
Denora was like face down and then like gets up. There's a little bit of drool there.
Ah.
It's just like, what? Okay. And she stays still.
So is the plan to stay still? But
Yeah.
That's
hide?
what my plan is.
I think so. Yeah, he seems to have done something. Dern will just be staring at the giant, just watching for any movement.
Oh, it's that horrible thing that you do when you think you see something and you just keep looking at it and it doesn't
Pariolia?
quite see it. Oh,
After a little while, Dern, that giant hasn't moved at all. And there's a goat walking up to it.
oh my god. The goat takes a shit.
And a goat only shits when it feels safe. That's what Ma used to say.
Elf,
Dwarf?
wanna go take a closer look?
I don't need to. It's as plain as day.
All right, I'm taking a fucking closer look. Then.
No!
What is it? I can't even see it.
Apparently, there's a giant up there somewhere.
No.
I'm gonna go take a closer look.
Give me an athletics check. Gotta climb the mount. This is where we get another one, and you don't even like get to the plot line.
Hey!
That was so close to
Nearly. I'm gonna go get a closer look. You just like
That's a giant, alright.
start climbing, but you're tired and you're sleepy.
This is the
And you're
worst.
trying
Can I
to
go have a look?
climb.
I try and follow after Dernikin.
Give me an athletics or acrobatics roll to climb the mountain.
I think
The rock face.
acrobatics is going to be better.
Yeah. You actually quite quickly overtake Dern and maybe, go, oh, I'll go up ahead or something and climb higher. Like Dern, you just like roll on your back with when you climb up higher, it is clearly just a giant-shaped rock up on the ridge. But do feel free to give me another perception check.
Really? Look at that rock!
Really looking at it.
No, something is going to sneak up on us now while we're distracted.
Oh my god. Should have just gone straight in.
Yeah, just a giant-shaped rock up here.
Donaruvian
I give the giant rock a nice pat.
Yeah, dude, you looking up, see Phil go up and like pat the giant on the butt.
It's like, you do you, buddy. And then I head back down.
Dern is just staring.
It's a very
at it.
impressively giant-shaped rock.
And then I
Wow.
jump down.
What
It's
do you mean? I was watching and
just a rock.
Donna Ruvian, it is okay. You did the right thing.
Yeah, I guess it's better than it being an actual giant.
good night.
I would
Just
disagree.
meditate.
Well, guess it's my turn then.
I mean, I might as well stay up for the next watch because I have Pass Without Trace going for an hour, and that will just make us much harder to detect.
Hey, do you want to give me a perception roll, Sidian?
Yeah, it's my worst one.
Okay.
You know what? I'll take it.
The rest of your sleeps and rests go without any kind of interruption. And you awake in the morning to wind but no snow, and the sun breaches the looming clouds every now and again. The sunlight reveals, the moss upon the rocks and areas where the snow hasn't been touched yet, and the morning frost upon all the little grasses. I've done that twice today now. You know what? No more grass. Just get rid of all of it in Jarviskjir. It's had its chance.
Do what I like.
There's a beauty to it. And Jem'Tida down there at the bottom of the highlands.
Lenora wakes up, does a little yawn, and then she's like, after we made all that noise, we probably should have moved.
Well, we
I'm
ain't
glad
got
to
attacked
see
them.
that we're not dead.
We're just gonna march into more danger, probably. Go on, we better get going. Probably take it quiet, I think.
I can do same thing I did last night if you think this would be beneficial.
Yeah, if we're all rocks, that'd be great.
It will give us a +10 to stealth rolls.
I mean,
I feel
Why
like-
not? Okay, why don't you give me stealth rolls with a +10, and slowly and stealthily approach the town below.
well, I'm rolling well.
Hey,
Whoa!
Oh,
I am a super rock.
That +10 is
So
simultaneously amazingly
I mean, hey, a
You-
14 and a 13 is like not
you
as bad as it could be.
fucking suck at this. You
That
start
is
heading
still
your way
cool.
down a mountain, and Vilnora, you're not a mountaineer. You're not used to this kind of terrain, so you're still trying to be quiet. But sometimes you sort of slip and move awkwardly. Sometimes you try too hard to stay still and look like a rock. Regardless, it isn't really that useful. But luckily, Sidian can move ahead of everyone, more stealthy, and kind of scout it out. And as you get closer to the town, before you get to the sort of the town section, like I said, there's a high street with buildings and stuff, almost a little hill dwarven in design. You actually see two figures. They're actually of a similar size and shape to you. Tall dwarves in armor. The armor is thick and ever present, and they are looking at the morning sky. The beautiful colors that wash across the northern sky here, the pinks and golds and blues. They don't seem to notice you. They also aren't like saying anything. They're just kind of like standing at a position that seems like a place would be a good place to put like a guard or something.
Right.
But they're not paying attention. They're looking to the sky.
Do I notice any markings or anything on the armor that I might recognize?
Oh, it's got dwarven
It's dwarven
art.
in
It's dwarven in design, nature, and artistry. Yeah.
I'm gonna move back to the group and meet up with you guys.
The rocks.
And basically,
Squad.
the rest of the rock band here.
have
Hey.
some Rolling Stones.
Yeah. I hate this. All right, so I'm gonna meet up with you guys.
You did
And-
this.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And just explain what I saw, basically.
Why the sky? I'm kind of hoping it's a giant.
Perhaps they have not seen it before.
Well, I mean, if they're more like you, that's not really normal for a dwarf. And
Look like hill dwarves, or
They are much larger.
they're tall dwarves?
Have some complex, do you?
No, I don't bloody care. I'm just wondering whether we should go in there expecting a fight, whether we should just walk up and chat to them. I mean, I don't know anything this side of the mountains. Well, I know that's normal in this fortress. Gemtador, was it?
Maybe if they're tall dwarves, then Sidian should go because he's also tall.
That
If he
makes
looks
sense.
similar, then they might be friendly.
That's how I operate. People who look like me, I am more friendly towards.
They're definitely not
At a
from
glance.
my people, but there is logic there. Perhaps they
Thank
will
you.
mistake me for one of them.
We should
Whatever
stay
they-
close at least. Hidden.
Yes.
Close.
I'm trying to imagine, is it a gate to where we're going, or are they outside of the
They're
building?
outside in the rocks, so it seems like Gemtador, and I've kind of described it, but piss poor because you haven't gone there yet. But you can see a high street area where it's outside, just straight up,
Okay.
like buildings in the snow on like a
There's
paved
little
area.
town.
There's like a little town, and then you can see entrances like bunkers to the town below, because it's a dwarven town, and obviously it's sort of built into the mountain as well. So this is maybe like an area for like guests and things. It's very common in anywhere for like to have sort of a merchant area in your town or settlement, little trade posts and stuff. So maybe that's what's going on. But they're not guarding there. They're like 10 minutes away from the town on like a little rocky outcropping where they could easily see above and below.
I want to be alone.
But they just want to look at
It's a
the
bunch of
dawn
rocks.
sky.
Out of them.
A bunch of badly stealthy rocks. But
we're trying to get to the caves that are further in.
Or we're trying to get to the town.
trying to get to the town. It's up to you whether you want to go to the bunker or the high street first.
Okay.
So could we
Knowing
see the
dwarven.
town?
Yeah, you can see the town clear as day.
Does it look
You are very
busy?
close.
Does it look busy?
It
Like
looks
normal?
occupied. It looks like there's smoke coming from buildings and vents and stuff. An appropriate amount of smoke. You can't really see people about, but you're high up as well. It's kind of hard to see people at this height. And cold, yeah.
And most dwarves would be
Most dwarves would be below ground in a settlement like this. Crimson Mountain, where you were, and Reichdom are weird exceptions, which means there's actually more exceptions than rule nowadays. But in a regular mountain dwarf fort, which this should be, most dwarves would be underground.
Ruben would say, why would these dwarves bar our way? It's a town.
Well, because if they're not the same dwarves as are in Crimson Mountain, if they're like from the underground, they don't damn low look like me. I can tell you that. If they're as tall as he is.
Oh, pish.
I will
Well-
speak with them, and we will see what they have to say.
Do you
and we
think
will-
speaking at them from like a distance is going to be okay? Like if I
Hey!
message them directly into their mind?
And now we're in a Dickensian short story where it turns out you were the ghost.
Shit, I gotta rewrite this campaign. Let's take a break. I've been waiting for a good moment, and there hasn't been one. So we're just gonna stop.
Giving this Kit Kat for years. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go and get more Diet Coke.
Any other big
Back
brands
there.
you want to shill? Anybody?
We'll
So
get more.
subscribe to Ollie Rants.
Yeah. Yes, break is an excellent time to subscribe so that Donkey Kong doesn't scream in joy during a monologue, which is currently my subscribe sound, and I'm not changing it.
Tortured to death.
Yeah. We'll be back in a bit.